Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today's topic is going to be a preview of the New York Jets versus Philadelphia Eagles. But before I get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump right into today's video and talk about this game. The Jets are coming off the bye, and there are still some major question marks with this team. For example, the biggest thing and my first note that I want to talk about is Sam Darnold playing? Can anyone answer that question right now? I am recording on Thursday at about 6 p.m. Can anyone let me know if Sam Darnold is going to play or not? It seems like the New York Jets don't know the answer to that. According to their head coach, they're going to wait until Friday for Sam Darnold to get even more tests done. I know he's practiced, but as my last video stated, I don't think he should play this week because if he hasn't gotten contact recently, it's not going to be a good thing. It's not going to go well, especially with the Jets offensive line, which is another storyline that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But that's the big question for me. Because if Sam Darnold plays and is healthy, right, then I think this game is closer. And then maybe that 13.5 point spread isn't going to be what it's going to be at the end of the day. Maybe it's something like 7 points, which makes a little bit more sense. If Luke Falk plays, this game is going to be an unmitigated disaster like the Patriots game was just a couple of weeks ago. Which then leads me to my next point. The Philadelphia Eagles defense has really struggled this year. They are ranked 22nd overall in defensive DVOA. That's not good. That's going to turn around this week though. I know that secondary is banged up and I know it's not as good as, they have a bunch of depth, but they haven't been playing well. That defensive line is going to manhandle the New York Jets offensive line. It's going to be a rough one. Fletcher Cox is unbelievable. And I know he's banged up, but even Fletcher Cox on one leg is going to completely murder either Ryan Khalil if he is still starting, or if they decide to pull the plug and go to Jonathan Harrison. It's not going to matter. It's going to be a mismatch either way. And that's part of the reason why I don't want Sam out there, is because I think he could get murdered this week against a very tough defensive line, despite their numbers being bad. If Luke Falk goes out there and plays, the Jets are not going to be able to move the ball up and down the field. They're going to keep it very basic. They're going to run Le'Veon Bell into the line of scrimmage a million times, throw him a 2-yard down and out or a screen pass on 3rd and 7, and that's going to be the very frustrating game plan from Adam Gase and the New York Jets. If Darnold plays, though, the Jets have a little bit of a bigger chance to move the ball up and down the field and put up some points. Will they be able to keep pace? Probably not, but if Sam Darnold is in, I think they could do a little bit more on offense, which isn't crazy to say at all. With Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard, they really have a very good 1-2 punch, the Eagles do, as a running back group. Sanders is averaging 4 yards per carry on the nose, and Howard is averaging 4.7 with 3 touchdowns. They can beat you running the football, which last year wasn't really something that they do. They really focused on throwing, which that seems like it's probably going to benefit their game plan more this week against the New York Jets. But you still have to watch out for that because their running back tandem is underrated. They're pretty solid running back tandem. Like I just mentioned, it's going to be the passing attack that's going to be a big issue for this Jets team because they don't have the personnel to line up against them. Deshaun Jackson, Nelson Aguilar, Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey. They're a deep receiving team and they can beat you so many different ways. The Jets secondary is arguably the weakest point on this entire New York Jets team, even weaker than the offensive line. And that means Carson Wentz is going to just sit in the shotgun all day long. You know they aren't going to get pressure because the Jets don't have a pass rush. And he's going to have all the time in the world to pick apart this New York Jets defense. Next up, does Trumaine Johnson play? I have no idea if the New York Jets are going to play Trumaine Johnson or not this week. He played a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but he really has no business being on the field. He is a $72 million cornerback who the Jets valued as unable to use 2 games into his second season with the team. Unbelievable incompetence from Mike Maccagnan on that signing. But nonetheless, the Jets are going to go most likely with Hairston instead because he seems to play at a higher level at this point. He's younger. He's 26 years old. I'd much rather see him than Trumaine Johnson. I don't care what it takes after this year. You got to buy him out. You got to eat it. I know the dead cap number is not pretty, but I think you just got to do it. And my last critique for the New York Jets is this: you have to be much more creative on offense. The excuses have to stop for Adam Gase. In his last 6 games, he has 3 touchdowns. 3. This year, the Jets have 1 offensive touchdown. You shrug your shoulders because in 2019, in today's NFL, that's damn near impossible to do. It is nearly impossible to go that long without scoring. If Sam plays and if the offense struggles again, oh boy. Oh boy. Where is the next win coming from? I don't think they win this game. I'm going to give my prediction in a second, but if they continue to struggle, Dallas, New England, Jacksonville, you could be looking 0-7 in the face. Very realistically. And sure, that back half of the schedule is easy, and maybe you somehow flip 0-7 to 5-11, and somehow that gets morphed into Adam Gase coming back, which would be a dumpster fire. But this offense is just atrocious. You have to be more creative. Stop running Le'Veon Bell into the line of scrimmage. Line him up in the slot. Use Ty Montgomery more. How about utilize Bilal Powell? If he's healthy, utilize him. I would dress all 3 running backs, and I would not dress Trenton Cannon. At this point, I'd have Jamison Crowder being the kick and punt returner. He's got to be much more effective than what the Jets are using right now, and they don't have any value there with those special teamers, so why not put Crowder out there? I don't know. I don't see this being a pretty game. I think if Luke Falk plays, which that's my expectation, so that's the score I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Eagles 30-6. So they cover that big spread. I think Carson Wentz is going to be able to move the ball at will against this team. I don't think the Jets offense is going to be able to do anything, which means that Luke Falk is going to struggle and put the Eagles in better offensive field position. And it's going to be a bloodbath. I think 30-6, that's what, a 24-point victory? More than 3 touchdowns? Or, yeah, 3 touchdowns if you go for 2 each time. 8 times 3 is 24. Let me know what you think the score is going to be below. What are your expectations for the game? Get at me on social media, at Matt O'Leary, and why. Thank you so much for tuning in. Talk to you guys next time.